often late, doesn't learn his lines, so that's very frustrating.
Why do I think the character of Thor resonates with audiences around the world? You know, I think because he has evolved over the years, much like all of us, you know. There's a growth within each film and a new experience. And he has learnt things about himself and changed and matured. And that's the journey we're all on, isn't it? It's a journey of self-discovery.
Well, I think Thor resonates more now with the Ragnarok movie that we did, and also now with Love and Thunder, because we're giving him more human problems, more relatable problems. Let's face it, you can't really relate to a space Viking who's thousands of years old and basically a zillionaire who lives in space. So you've got to give these characters things that we've all experienced, and in this film I think we can relate to him more than ever, where he's lost, he's trying to find purpose, and he, luckily, by the end of the film, he finds that. My approach to Thor was to create a film that's fun and energetic and adventurous, but also emotional, and I really wanted to concentrate on this idea of love and what love means to Thor, and you know, and whether or not that's the thing he's searching for, is this idea of loving someone and being loved. So we find Thor in a very reflective, meditative position at the beginning of the film. He's trying to find himself, he's looking internally, he's doing a lot of searching, like a lot of us do when we feel lost. We suddenly turn to crystals and meditation to try and figure our stuff out. And it's the same with Thor in this. We wanted to create this idea that he's going through a midlife crisis, and he's, after years of saving planets and saving other people, he hasn't really left anything for himself. And it's about him finding the way to find purpose.
Yeah, the reflective nature of Thor. I think, look, all of us, self-reflection, we look in the mirror and we think, who are we, who should we be, who do we want to be? That's a constant question we all have faced, as is Thor. And I think what he's learned over the years is to stay true to who he is. And although he wants quieter moments and wishes for peace and serenity, the universe calls upon him for his support, and he is in servitude of others. And when the call is made, he answers and off he goes. And Natalie Portman is back, and this time as the mighty Thor, which, imagine seeing your ex-girlfriend where there was the untold story, unfinished business. There was love there that was never truly experienced. All of that comes flooding into Thor's being and experience in that moment. And I think he's intimidated. I think he's in wonder and fascination, but most of all, he's impressed and he's in love when he sees her. Natalie Portman did the most amazing job playing the mighty Thor, and I can't wait for people to see it. Jane?
So Natalie Portman is now back in the MCU. She's back in the Thor franchise, and in a bigger, better, bolder way, and it's extremely exciting because she's now the mighty Thor. She's no longer Thor's girlfriend, the scientist in Albuquerque. She's now the mighty Thor who has the hammer, and she's got the cape and the armor, and she can fly, and she's wielding Mjolnir, and she can harness lightning. I mean, she's an incredible character, super strong, and it's great to see Natalie. Great to see a female superhero all the time is great, but to see one so powerful and really dominating a lot of the storyline, and really being an equal presence with Thor is a great thing to see.
What's it been like, 3, 4 years?
8 years, 7 months and 6 days, give or take.
Yeah, so when Thor and Jane meet after years of being apart and years of not talking, she's on the battlefield and she's dressed as the mighty Thor, and she's got her powers and she's doing amazing things with the hammer. She can wield the hammer in a way that Thor never could, and Thor's reaction, apart from the surprise and the shock at seeing someone holding his hammer, is really more focused on that's his ex-girlfriend and he hasn't seen her for a long time, and maybe this is the thing he's been looking for to fill that hole in his life, the thing that might give him purpose.
The villain in this film, played by Christian Bale, he plays Gore the God Butcher, and it has rated as the highest tested villain in the MCU, and man, he was impressive. The first time he walked on set, I was blown away, I was intimidated, but what was most impressive is underneath the villainous nature of what he portrayed on screen, there was a vulnerability too. There was an accessibility there through the nuanced empathy, you know, that he had, that was, and also was asked of an audience. You don't agree with what he's doing, but you kind of understand his anger and frustration and his motivation.
Tessa Thompson is back as Valkyrie, and she's now King Valkyrie. She's ruling over New Asgard in Norway, and yeah, they're making their best attempts to integrate into Earth society, and they've made a little tourism town out of that little part of Norway, and they've got a thriving industry, and Valkyrie is overseeing all of this. She's got new responsibilities. However, she's also a career soldier. You know, she's a professional fighter, and that's really the life that she's used to. And so she's now in a bureaucratic position where she's just doing, you know, a lot of admin and a lot of meeting a lot of delegates from other countries and stuff, and business meetings, and for her, you know, it's really cool to see the character like that. He's dealing with this stuff and being very responsible for, you know, for the first time in a long time, but also still, you know, her heart is in the battle and going on adventures, and then she does get to go on the adventure.
Russell Crowe as Zeus, hilarious.
Let's see who you are. I take off your disguise and flick.
Oh, you flicked too hard, damn it!
What I really appreciated was the fact that he came in and was self-deprecating and kind of made a fool of himself in the most wonderful way. He had such a beautiful sense of humor with it. The self-deprecating nature that he had was infectious amongst all of us, and you know, I think the trapping would have been to come in and play it Gladiator-esque that we've seen before and loved, but he really turned that on its head and did something very unique and fresh.
Russell Crowe, you know, one of the finest actors ever to grace the silver screen, as someone that I've admired for many years. I think I've seen Master and Commander about 60 times, and Gladiator probably 100, and he comes into the film playing Zeus, the Greek god. I shouldn't have to explain that. And he's just an amazing force, an amazing presence, and you know, he's kind of like the overlord of all the gods, and he just brings a real sort of, he just got a real like weight to that part of the film, and it's also fun. He's you know, it's Russell Crowe being a bit cheeky.
Kids, get your popcorn now. Let me tell you the story of the Space Viking.
Crowe is a fantastic character in the film. He's made of rocks, and he's played by one of the greatest actors I've ever worked with, Taika Waititi. And, well, what can I say about Taika as an actor? You know, he's often late, doesn't learn his lines, so that's very frustrating. But he means well, and that's why I give him lots of takes to get it right.
Yeah, Taika Waititi, you know, since Ragnarok really changed the game, and both he and I discussed this at length about doing something very different and something unique, and he continues to push the envelope and raise the bar and keep audiences guessing, keep them on their toes. You know, he's collaborative and fun and chaotic and exciting, and that's what this film is. You know, and it embodies the most adventurous spirit that is needed to be a Marvel Cinematic Universe film. motion picture. We go first shot of the day. This guy over here is going to direct just for one day, and then we're going to see how he goes.
With experience, exciting.